Welcome to the Self-Care Show with Deidre Sanford. Although holistic and alternative healing methods are becoming more and more mainstream, what method is right for you? How do you find a practitioner once you've chosen to explore an alternative therapy? Each week, Deidre will explore a different modality with practitioners who will explain their modality and the benefits they and their clients have received through their sessions. She and her guests may also offer live readings during the show. Now, your host of the Self-Care Show, Deidre Sanford.
Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday Self-Care Day. Is anybody else feeling the lightness in the air after Mercury? What is my hair doing? After Mercury retrograde has lifted, after this moon, as the energies lighten up and allow us all to start moving forward, to start hearing again, to start creating again. Guys, I got to tell you, I grabbed my coffee and I went outside this morning and I did a few minutes of meditation and the world opened up and the colors were brighter and the sounds of all of the animals around me were louder and like in my face, right? So I'm sitting there quietly contemplating, I don't know, the lint in my navel or something. And I could hear this noise, this little crackling noise. And I thought, well, what is that? And I looked up and I could actually hear the bird at the bird feeder cracking the seeds open before they spit out the hull and ingested the seed. And I thought, when did my head get so busy that I didn't hear that for a long time? Okay, granted, it's springtime. We're starting to put out bird feeders. The birds are suddenly starting to appear and be around more often. I get it. It's spring and that's new. That's great. But the point is, I got so involved in my life. I got so involved in my travels, in paying attention to family, in worrying about the outcome of this decision with respect to healthcare or the outcome of that decision with respect to my life, that I completely forgot to just stand still and listen. Maybe that's just what we all need, right? Take a couple minutes and check in with ourselves, check in with our higher self, check in with spirit. Just be quiet and be internally still so that we can hear for ourselves. What's going on? What's my next move? What did I need to learn from that thing that I allowed to let build up over a 36 or 48 hour period? And then my body went into contraction and I knew I was being triggered and I had to walk away. I don't regret walking away because when I walk away, I go to that place of what is this person showing me about myself that I'm rejecting within me? What is that person's behavior, speech, energy, reflecting back to me something that I'm hiding about who I innately am that I don't think I like? Guys, that's shadow work. And it's weird. Sometimes we get into that mode of doing shadow work and self-examination without thinking, without understanding that that's what we're doing for ourselves. And in some aspects, it feels like it's something we're doing to ourselves because it almost feels like torture and torment to look at those things, to pick them apart, to show ourselves the ugly. And sometimes when we dive in and we give ourselves the opportunity to truly listen to our own higher self's answers to those questions, we get the opportunity to see how much we've grown, how much we've developed, how much more truly ourselves we've allowed ourselves to become, how we allow ourselves to just show up as who we are, to let go of the fear of recrimination or not being accepted. Guys, if we're all walking around not accepting ourselves, how can we possibly expect anyone else to accept us? We're already showing them the energy of our own rejection of ourselves, and they can't help but pick up on that. And what's even crazier is all of that happens at a subconscious level. So what's really driving our subconscious? The past, our past life, our own emotional baggage, the emotions that are genetic or our epigenetics. That's what we like to play with. That's where our true progress is made, is when we pick up the keys and we unlock the door to our subconscious and we say, what have I got? What's here? What's holding me back? What's pushing me forward? And is it of a right and true thought? What's my intention? And where did that intention come from? Yeah, it's been a crazy day here, but it's been a good day. And we want to extend that good day to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Pop into the chat, say hello. We love to hear your thoughts. Share with us things that you may be thinking of, that you may be suddenly understanding. Ask us those questions because we want to help you get there. That's what these shows are about. We love to dig deep with you and open those doors. Maybe knock on a door. Just gently crack it open a teeny tiny bit to get a glimpse. Or maybe we'll burst the door open with a great big strong kick and just send in this flood of information. Who knows? But let's find out. Jump in the chat. Let us know that you're here. I can see you lurking. Make yourselves out front so we can say hi and truly welcome you to Wednesday, May the 24th, this edition of the Self-Care Show on WLTK-DB. It's awesome to see all of you. And with no further ado, let's bring Lori B., Certified Psychic Medium, on into the show this morning and say hello. Give her a great big WLTK-DB family welcome. Hi there.
Hello, hello.
What's going on?
Same stuff you're going through.
Isn't it crazy? Hi, Robin.
Retrograde kicked my butt.
Yeah, Mercury retrograde was a doozy. And we were just talking with Todd backstage, and that's when the computer finally decided to wave goodbye. Hi, Paula. Welcome to the show. It's nice to see you. And look what happened. I don't know. I kind of came out with some new attitudes, new thoughts, new perspective, and definitely some new plans for moving forward. How about you, Lori?
Oh, I've got a bunch going on in my head right now.
Hopefully it's all good.
Most of it is, yeah.
Yay! See, Mercury retrograde. Ah! Yep. The fog lifts. We're no longer cruising around in our own muck. Todd's got shows that load now, or programs that load now in like 10 seconds instead of 5 or 10 minutes. And so much of what has enabled Todd to function in such a higher capacity and so much more easily is the contribution, the caring, and the love of all of the WLTK-DB family of the paranormal community, all coming together to make this happen, to keep this station running, to keep these shows coming to you. And we, as a collective group, and most especially, I know Todd thanks all of you for your contributions and your help in making this new computer run everything smoothly and reliably. Todd's got Lori's website information popped into the chat for you. We are both also available through our websites. And we are here today to, help shed some new light, answer some questions, open some new doors. And those don't have to be new doors to action. They can be just as simple as new doors to something to think about that might lead to opening another new door. Lori, speaking of all of that, what's your goal when you sit down with a client for a reading?
To bring them peace. To give them hope. The big thing for me is to let them know that when they have a loved one that passes, that is, to me, what I have learned is that's not death. That's life. They are starting a new life. Mm-hmm. Granted, it's not physically with us, but they are living. They're not gone. They're always with us. Yeah. We just don't have the physical being of them, which is probably the hardest for everybody.
Mhm.
You want that physicalness, and it's hard to wrap your head around. And for the people that are on the fence on whether or not there's life after death, there's definitely life after death. You just have to trust and believe in it, and be open to the signs and the messages that are coming in. If that makes sense.
Awesome. Well, and I think through that, we're also, because I share a lot of what you just said for sure, healing,
Mm-hmm.
giving our
Yeah.
clients opportunities to move closer toward healing, and
Yeah.
grief is such an open wound. And not just healing in the respect of grief and connecting with loved ones through our mediumship readings, but healing as far as ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And it's a lifelong process.
oh my gosh. Yeah, as soon as you think you've got something figured out and you start making 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 steps forward, something else pops up.
Yeah, exactly.
And what is it that we need to look at to move beyond those steps? Or sometimes it's just, hey, spirit, what do I need to know today? Because we
But,
do.
a lot of us aren't open to that always.
Of course not.
I mean, I know there's days I'm like, go away. I don't want to talk to you today.
Right.
I don't want to hear what you have to say because I'm right and you're wrong. Even though I know
And you know what? We're not.
I know.
We're so busy getting in our own way that we just can't see our way forward.
Right.
We keep hearing, okay, it'll happen, it'll change, just go for the ride. Like, go for the ride? What do you mean, enjoy the ride? How do I enjoy the ride? This just feels like so much muck and mire.
Right. And when you don't know where it's headed.
Because you got to have the muck and the mire. You got to have what you got to have to get where you're supposed to be.
Right.
And that is so hard when what we feel we're being shown is lessons or life experiences that are just way too heavy and too draggy and too frustrating and feel impossible. And, I hate to be obtuse, I guess, maybe, I don't know. It's always darkest before the dawn, right?
Oh, God, yes.
Periods of awakening are so heavy. And everybody says, oh, wait till you get to the other side. You'll feel better. It'll clear.
But as soon as you get to the other side, there's another life lesson you have to learn. So,
but at least we get arrested.
Never ending. And, it's just like, just let me do my readings and be okay. No, that's not the way it works.
Yep. No, I mean, we've all got work to do. And if we don't have those heavier experiences and find some of the lessons that those experiences are showing us, we can't really fully enjoy or appreciate what comes on the other side of those.
Or help others.
Well, now that would be the most important part for some of us.
Yeah.
Helping ourselves, though, always needs to come first.
Yeah, but that's a hard one to take.
Oh, absolutely.
Or like me, because, for me, I'm used to always doing for everybody else.
Right.
So when it comes to me, I'm just like fluffing it off or trying to. But now, since I'm where I'm at in life, spirits are going, no, it's not for you. And I'm like, no. Yeah, I can go help them. I'll be just fine. And spirits going, no, you need to deal with this. You need to deal with this. And yeah, it's a hard lesson.
It is.
Slowly learning.
And as you pointed out so many times since we sat down this morning, it's not always fun. We don't necessarily want to hear it. And oftentimes what we don't want to hear is what we need to hear the most.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I am so full of aphorisms as we're talking about this, like that which you resist persists. It's always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because those things have been said so many times that we almost don't hear them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find new ways of saying some of those things.
Yeah.
Or choose to be open to the old ways. Whatever. So who's out there that wants some guidance this morning? Perhaps it's a specific question. Perhaps it's a situation you want a new perspective on. Or maybe it's the wide open door that says, okay, spirit, hand it over. What do you got? Who knows? Who knows? But boy, I'll tell you, when you open that door wide open and say, spirit, what do you got for me? be ready for whatever comes through, because as we were just discussing, sometimes you're not necessarily ready to hear what you're asking for. So be careful what you ask for, because it can come through in spades. I have my tried and true decks at hand. I've got Whitney McNeil's Messenger of Spirit, and she has been a guest on the show. All of the shows are in podcast form over on Podbean. It's selfcareshow.podbean.com. Hey, Paula. All right, we got you. We'll get you hooked up here shortly. Thank you. Anyway, Whitney McNeil was on the show a couple of months ago. You can always catch the replay over on Podbean. And then the Urban Crow. This is also one of my favorites because, man, those crows are some pretty wise birds, aren't they? What else we got? I got a new deck. I have a couple of new decks, actually. Find Your Light, Inspirational Oracle. Just got some gorgeous pictures on these and some fabulous things to say. Lori, what deck are you working with today?
I have Lisa Williams, Intuitive Oracle.
Yes.
I have Radley Valentine's Sword of Light.
Woohoo!
And Radley Valentine's Angel Wisdom.
Fabulous. Speaking of that deck, I'm glad you're using it today. Tell us a little bit more about the work you're doing with Radley Valentine.
I am in his Angel Certification course, which tomorrow is actually our last meeting, and then we'll be certified, where we communicate directly with the archangels and get messages, in all different forms from the angels.
Awesome.
Or whoever we're working with.
So
but
fun.
For Paula, I am using the Lisa Williams deck.
I'm jealous. She needs to release that deck again.
I love this deck.
But that waiting list is long.
It is one of my favorite decks.
All right, Miss Paula, hold on to your hat.
Mm-hmm.
Here she comes.
Okay, Paula. So I got 3 cards for you. Okay, so the first card is communication.
Nope.
And with this card,
communication was the first deck. I don't know if you all could see the card, but you broke up there for a minute with the audio. So,
yeah, communication.
Pardon my intrusion.
Yeah, that's okay. My first thought when I see this card is you really need to be listening to your guides. You need to be talking to your guides more. Which goes with the second card, which is plan. Hang on. There it is. I feel like you have some big changes coming up, but you need to make sure that you've got your plans in place for them. And if you talk to your guides, they're definitely going to help. I also feel like there might be somebody in the living world that you need to be talking to, getting their input on. And then the third card, and I'm still trying to figure this one out. I think I just did. The third card is secret.
Ooh.
And I feel like with you, you're holding yourself back from dealing with something, I'm going to say, in your past that you haven't dealt with. And I don't think that the plans can fully go into place until you deal with whatever it is in your past that's keeping you blocked. And I get a heaviness as I'm saying all of this. Let me think on this a minute. Do you got anything, Deidre, while I work some more with this card?
I do. Miss Paula. I know Lori had said she feels like there's some changes coming up. And the first thing I heard when she said that was career. Not just work. Career, which is to me a little bit bigger than work. It's a much broader application, like changing not just what you do every day in a procedural way, but what direction do you want to head in? That kind of a shift. And I think it's funny because the card that I pulled was, what passion am I ready to pursue? And along with your secret card, Lori, and your communication card, it's almost as though those around you, you don't feel are ready to hear what journey is truly inside your heart that you want to start diving more deeply into. I feel like you've got some abilities out there that you're afraid to discuss with people, that you haven't really looked at or dived into for yourself. But it's the exploration of those abilities that you're hiding from yourself and from the world that are going to help you find what you really are ready to pursue, because your heart is longing for something that makes more of a difference in yourself as you go through the work. And trust me, through doing this work and putting your feet on the ground and starting to walk that path, that self-development is insane, like stuff you never expected. Feels like that opens up the pathway for you to finding something that's more deeply connected to you and who you truly are becoming as you go through your process of your day-to-day life, because new things are popping up for you. The only other card that I pulled for you today, and this is coming from the Soul Truth Self-Awareness card deck, is what risk can I take today? And I feel like that card more specifically speaks to the risk that you may choose to take or give yourself permission to take by expressing more fully, letting go of the secret to those around you, communicating, everything tied together beautifully with these 5 cards today. Once you start talking about what you feel you're lacking, and of course you need to ruminate on that in your head a little bit. What am I really lacking? Dig deeper. When you get that first answer, ask again. Because that first answer is a pretty surface answer. And you ask again, you really give yourself the ability to get closer to the heart of it. And when you have that information and you start accepting and incorporating your innate abilities into this process, you're going to find places along your path as you grow and develop into yourself that really establish that opportunity for career that's more heart-centered and feels more authentic to you. What you're doing right now is great, but it's getting lame, it's getting mundane, you're getting tired of getting up and getting out of bed and going in there and taking care of those tasks every day. You're like, why am I doing this over and over and over again? Give yourself the opportunity to ask yourself those questions. Where do I really want to go? What kind of a difference do I want to make for myself? And as you make those differences for you, you begin to be able to share, communicate, and not hold that secret so close to your chest. I hope that makes sense to you, Ms. Paula.
And another thing, when you brought up passions, it's funny because on this card, on the secret card, it says unlocking the secrets and passions within.
Ooh.
So, and I don't know if Paula is a spirit worker, but I feel like there's definitely something there if she's not already, but she needs to expand it. She needs to stop being fearful of it, of maybe taking another path, not losing the one she's on, but expanding it out.
Paula, are you aware of the abilities that we both referred to? I think that's part of the secret. And you might even be keeping that a secret.
Keeping it from herself.
For yourself. Exactly. You're not going crazy. The things that you hear and see really are there. And that's also part of the communication. All right. What do you think, Lori? I mean, there are days that conversations, that there's information in my head, it's incoming, it's a download, it's direct from spirit. Paula says, yes, she is aware. Good. Keep working it.
Good.
You know, the information comes in and you're like, well, I don't know if I can share this. You just got to communicate. Don't keep that information a secret.
Yep.
Let it go. When we fight amongst ourselves or within ourselves, we make it so much more difficult.
God, is that so true?
To allow ourselves to feel as though we're seen and heard for who we truly are.
Mm-hmm. And accepting who we are is
Hello, Desiree.
sometimes a hard one.
Not only accepting who we are, but sharing.
Embracing it.
So many trials and tribulations can come up along that path, and we each experience them in our own way, yet so many of them are so similar for all of us. It's that, what do they call it? Light workers' persecution. The things that
We're good at that, right?
That we and our ancestors have been through in our past lives. Desiree, absolutely, you may have a reading. Are you looking for something super specific, a question that you have, or you just want to know what Spirit has in store for you today? Let us know. Pop it in the chat, guys. This is what we are here for today on Wednesday, May the 24th. It's all up to you guys. How are we going to run this show? You tell us. Are we answering specific questions, or are we just bringing information through from Spirit? We are more than happy to find out. Desiree, thanks for coming in and seeing us today. And thank you for the open door. You guys do understand that this is an open platform, and we do our best to maybe not divulge every secret in the world that you got hanging out there on the platform for everyone who may watch the replay to see. But we trust that if we allude to something, you know what we're talking about. And if you don't, ask for clarification, because we're happy to bring it to you here. That's what we're for. Desiree, I got the thank you very much. She's got no specific questions. She's just open to what comes through from Spirit. I kind of feel like, Lori, let me know what your thoughts are. We each get information differently. So I got a feeling that there's a relationship issue here, and that doesn't have to mean a romantic relationship with a partner. It can mean relationship in business. It can mean relationship with yourself. But I have this sense that there's some unsettling emotions or thoughts in relationship.
I actually heard relationship with self when you were saying that.
Yeah, me too. I got two cards that just popped out of the deck. And these are, I've switched to the Messenger of Spirit deck from Whitney McNeil. It's like my most favorite deck in the world. So what are you wrestling with? I feel like there's some self-perception that needs to be shifted. Looking to get out of a pattern of upheaval. Hi, Jaden. Looking to get out of a pattern of upheaval. Aha, gotcha. You are awfully hard on yourself, aren't you? It's very difficult, I think, especially given the way society is these days, to not be in positions of constantly judging ourselves. And my thinking for you, not my thinking, my general sense for you is there was a particular event tied to an individual who you put into an authority position in your life, who seems to have been quite critical. You were turning out really good work, and they would say things like, oh, this is great, but. So kind of the left-handed compliment thing, they'd throw it out there and then they'd take it back all at the same time. They take it back because your ability to perform at the level at which you perform makes them tense up. It makes them nervous. They don't have as much authority in your life as you think they do. You've chosen to put that in that position. They're more of an equal in more ways than you may choose to believe. They've chosen to put themselves on that platform as well. Those who we put in an authority position in our lives, who are unable to truly support what we're doing and truly see our value, maybe need to step back from that authority position just a tiny bit. In other words, take back your power. You know who you are, and you're learning more about who you are, but who you are is wonderful and amazing. So step back a little bit from this person. Give yourself the opportunity to make that choice of, to whom will I listen? it is your choice to continue to give this person that much power in your life. However, it's also your choice to back up and say, how do I really feel about what they just said to me? How do I really feel about the deconstruction of my work? Give them the opportunity to truly see who you are. Have that conversation. It sounds like you're just taking their criticism to heart and allowing that to derail you in your own growth. And I would suggest that you give yourself an opportunity, the deer card, to slow down and give yourself some grace. Don't let this person become the negative voice in your head or further influence the negative voice in your head. Shine, darling, because you are a diamond and you're holding yourself back when you allow this person and their lack of self-confidence to interfere with your development and your self-confidence. Develop your self-confidence and give yourself the opportunity to praise yourself and see your own value and carry your own sense of value with you proudly, like a sign. New opportunities will open up for you when you give yourself that opportunity. I get the impression from what you said, madam, that this was all 100% spot on. Put that confidence cap on and prance about in your house, in your living room. Get used to wearing it, right? Look yourself in the mirror with your cap on and smile. And then you'll learn to carry that invisible cap out the door with you, and everyone else can start to see more of that confidence and put more value into yourself. Anything to add, Miss Lori?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
I got 2 decks here.
Cool.
I'm doing the Archangel Michael sort of light from Radley.
Love it.
And this one says, put your creative energy into action. While I was shuffling this, I kept going to the Angel Wisdom. I kept looking at it. As I'm shuffling it, cards are falling out left and right in chunks. So I just keep putting them back going, I can't do 20 cards.
Right.
Well, the last one was 6 cards. And I'm like, okay, I'm keeping these. I'm done shuffling. They have a lot to say. So the first card in this is the Page of Air. And this is about studying.
Did you say the Page of Air?
Page of Earth. I'm sorry.
Earth. Okay. Thank you.
And this one is basically saying, you're heading in the right direction. You're going to need to study more in whatever area you're going into. And I'm just going to do each card just a little bit because there's so many.
Yeah. There's that expansion that comes with the confidence. Right.
So if you're looking at taking some classes, I would definitely go forward with that. And then the next one is the 6 of Earth. This one. And this says the good you do comes back to you. You're going to have abundance coming in. But you have to share that with others who are less fortunate than you. Then we have the King of Air. And this one is remain objective. Make sure you're communicating clearly. And there may be some unemotional relationships that you may have to deal with, whether it being you're leaving people as you're growing, because as you grow, you are going to outgrow people. The next 3 are all major arcana cards. And this one is opposite of what Deidre said. This is the Chariot, which means go forward, keep going. Yep. Don't slow down.
Great. Don't allow that other
next
person.
One, transformation. You've got a lot of transformation coming on. So transformation is good, but it can also be messy. It can be painful, or it can just be downright great. So I don't know which one you're going to get, but just be ready. And then the last one is the Wheel.
Yes.
And the Wheel it's a fresh new start, sudden or unexpected progress, a positive change in your life. I look at these cards as these are all awesome cards for you.
I love it.
You've got some work ahead of you. It's nothing that's going to come easy. You need to do the work to move forward. but definitely don't be lax in it. Don't be lax in it. Do the work, take the classes, and I see you as unstoppable once you get going.
Woohoo! Put the confidence cap on.
Yep.
Love it.
So that's what I got from her.
That helped. She's been in agreement with the things that we've both said. And I don't necessarily see what I had gotten and what you had gotten is in opposition to each other. I see that they play beautifully together, and that as she develops her confidence and starts not taking so many things others say to heart, dives into these things, gets the education. I see it all kind of working together.
Right.
Opposition, as we take those steps forward and we start integrating ourselves instead of just carrying forward what other people say, that can be messy too.
And it may be, as you said, for her to slow down while she's doing her studying.
Yeah.
But I feel like once she's done with whatever she's studying, she's going to take off full force.
Yeah. There's a lot of really great energy coming through. It pushed forward. I love it. Thanks, Desiree. She says, spot on. Thank you both so much.
You are welcome.
It's so much fun to read with you, Lori. We have some similarities in our backgrounds, but we also have some vast differences in our backgrounds. And I think that's what makes it really cool. Your guides will communicate with us sometimes based on how easily they can communicate with us. It takes people of different backgrounds. I don't know very many readers who've done one thing all their lives. We're usually scattered and incorporating a lot of things. And I mean, scattered in our abilities, varied in our experiences. And I think that allows us to connect differently with each client and their energies as they come through their spirit, higher spirit, their self guides, spirit guides, whoever's coming through for you. I think it allows us to connect differently on different levels. And I love the well-roundedness of the various information that comes through when you work with different readers. I think it's so much fun.
For sure.
Where did you go, Miss Jaded? Miss Jaded is asking if, hey Liz, how you doing? Thanks for coming in to join us this morning. Miss Jaded, there she is. Thank you. Miss Jaded's question today is, will Hernandez become my partner this year? My question is, and I'm not saying yes or no in either direction, but I'm asking a question for you. And that question is, what happens if that relationship doesn't show up the way you're hoping or asking that it will? I feel like a lot is hinging for you on whether or not Hernandez becomes your partner. I'm just going to ask you to take a step back and think about, if that happens, what does that look like to you? And do you both share the same vision for that? That would be my jumping off point for you, is before we try to manifest, or before we really wish for Hernandez to step forward as a partner, what do you want from that? And why does it feel so big in your world? Check your intentions. Because if you're hoping that the partnership with Hernandez will create a life that you desire, I would ask you to ask yourself why you can't create that for yourself. Because
she says she'll be fine either way.
Okay, cool. Because when we rely on other people to create things for us, we better be careful because they don't know all of our intentions. Just curious, Miss Jaden. Thank you.
Okay, and on this one, I am using Radley's Angel Answers. I don't use this deck a whole lot.
Yeah.
And the card that came out is Let Go.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that necessarily means let go of him, but I feel like it's let go of any expectations you may have and let whatever's going to happen. I think as Deidre was saying, sometimes what we think is what we want is not always necessarily what's best. but just go with the flow. That's what I'm feeling. Just go with the flow. Don't put any expectations on it.
Yeah.
Right. Go with the flow.
Instead of striving for the outcome that you think you want, enjoy
the moment. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And what's meant to be is going to be, whether it be now or 10 years from now. If it's meant to be, it will be. But there's a lesson in every relationship, whether it lasts or not. But just enjoy it. Just enjoy whatever's happening.
I think maybe part of that comes from the timeline in the question. Is this going to happen this year? Relationships grow and change as we as individuals grow and change, right? In every partnership, relationship, business, personal, there are 3 entities involved in that. And let's not put the negative attachment on the phrase entities. Let's look at you, let's look at Hernandez, and then let's look at the relationship. If you're shifting, the relationship shifts. If Hernandez is shifting, the relationship shifts. So the relationship itself is dependent on who you each individually choose to be within the relationship. So I think there's some communication and some conversation about individual hopes, dreams, goals for yourselves as individuals, and then also hopes, dreams, and goals for that relationship and what it grows into or morphs into, and how it lifts you both, or how it may be holding one or both of you back in some ways. And what do you want to do with that when you find it? Does that make sense? I feel like maybe Hernandez doesn't fully know, and maybe you haven't figured out yet either.
Yeah, I don't think she fully knows either.
What your expectations, hopes, and dreams are. And I think that's the fun piece of the puzzle, where we're both talking about just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get those golden nuggets of information about what it can become and how you two can birth that relationship together. Hopes, dreams,
and if they're both willing to do the work that it will take.
Yeah, it's a collaboration. And through that collaboration, through the communication, how each of you develop and what each of you wants to develop the relation into, good. Then you guys can come together with similar ideas, and they don't always have to be the same, because sometimes it's the differences that make it work. But the goals for the relationship or the partnership need to be a little bit more clearly defined and aligned. Mm-hmm. So that if you're going to work toward this, you both want to be working toward the same or similar goals.
And supportive of one another's goals.
Yeah, it's time to talk about it so that you can choose to grow it together. She says she's creating and manifesting for self, which is essential. If you're not walking into a partnership or relationship as yourself, then the relationship isn't based in self, right? Both need to bring your whole selves, your entire selves, and your healing processes to the table so you can work together. Woohoo! Felt a little heavy. I feel some resistance in that communication aspect. And I don't know if it's he's not hearing you or if you're not choosing to share at all. And I think it's a little bit of both. Go for a picnic in the woods, chill out, hang out in nature, whatever your definition of nature is, and just enjoy the time.
She says she agrees with you.
Thank you, Jaded, for the opportunity to take a look at that, I'm going to say situation, that potential of the relationship with you, so that you can choose how you want to steer it and how you guys want to develop it together. Awesome. Hi, Liz. Liz popped in and said, a reading, please. Do you have a specific topic or question for us today, or do you just want to know what Spirit's got to tell you? And I've somehow grabbed a whole new deck here. Which one have I got? I've got the Find Your Light Inspiration deck in my hand. He oversees, so we really, oh, gotcha. Well, there you go. I love it. All right, Miss Liz. Thank you again, Jaded, for the opportunity. That must be the space we felt. Good morning, Courtney.
Hi,
Thank you for
Courtney.
coming to see us today. Liz, are you looking for a specific situation to be looked at? Are you looking for just a regular, not regular, but a general reading on what Spirit has to say for you? I'm going to go ahead and use these cards that I've been hanging on to here. Hi, Alicia. Aw, thanks for coming
It's
in to
good to
see
see
us
you
again.
too,
I hope
Connie.
you guys had a good chat. Nope.
That's what they have to say.
Liz just wants to know what they have to say.
All right.
I mentioned I had pulled out my Find Your Light Inspiration deck. These are some really cute cards. I'm just going to keep shuffling, Lori, unless you're ready to spill, so to speak. That background noise. Shuffling cards.
All right. I'm actually going to use two, but I'm going to start with Lisa's Intuitive Soul. All right. Okay. Now this makes sense. Okay, so the first card I get is female. And what this says to me is that there is or there's going to be a female that's going to be very impactful to your life. I don't necessarily feel like it's a family member or a family relationship. I feel like this is more of a growth opportunity for you, whether it be a teacher or something. But I do feel like there's going to be a huge connection with this female. And the second card of Lisa I got was Power. And it says, standing strong, strength, and powerful and firm. So I think what I'm feeling is you need to reclaim your power. I feel like maybe you have somehow or another lost it along the way.
Handed it over.
Huh?
Handed it over.
Yeah. And then off of Radley's Sword of Light, I got increase your knowledge. So I feel like that's saying whatever aspect you're in, whether it be personal or career-wise, there are things that you need to learn. And I feel like, again, there's going to be a female teacher for you or a friend that's going to help you to get here to where you can reclaim your power. Because I feel like right now, I just feel like you're kind of wandering aimlessly. You're kind of lost because you've just given that power away. So you need to figure out a way to get it back. And I think that's going to be in an area of study, of growing, of learning more of whatever it is that's going on with you. You've just got to increase your knowledge and get it back. What are you getting, Deidre?
Well, interesting that you should ask, my friend. First of all, yes, I agree with what you're saying. And it's actually, I love that this card came through. This card came through and it says, I will fight.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't have to be a heavy sense, but there's a warrior on horseback in the bottom of the card. At the top of the card, she's up there. She's got her sword, right? She's ready. Mm-hmm. It's almost a defensive pose. And I think that speaks to taking your power back. It's almost as though at some point in time, Liz, you caved in. You were given the impression.
That's the exact word I got, was she caved.
Yeah. Or you were led to believe that what you said, what you thought, what you felt didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think either one of us would ever hesitate to say to you, darling, get in there and fight and take your power back.
Yeah.
Because what you say has value. What you feel has more value than you choose to give it, even yourself. So I would ask that to empower yourself, sit with yourself. What are you feeling? and then choose to accept it. Don't invalidate it simply because that's what you've
Right.
shown and that's what you've been taught by other people through your life.
That makes a lot of sense.
I kind of feel like that's familial, to be honest.
Because that's what I've done with myself.
Yeah.
You know, I will, you know, it has taken me years to get over the negativity of, you know, I was never good enough as a child. I didn't compare to my sister. So, you know, this may be something that she needs to go back to, you know, is she easily giving her power away because that's what's normal for her?
I can regain it. And it doesn't have to be an outward fight, right? It's the understanding
definitely.
that choosing to take your power back, choosing to give value yourself to your thoughts, ideas, feelings, choices, and decisions, etc., can be a heavy internal struggle, especially if we've been shown that those things are not of worth throughout our lives. Courtney is saying, accept yourself. Yes. Courtney's also saying, tell yourself, I was always good enough. Good enough. And actually, the other card I got for you from the Find Your Light inspiration deck is I will worship. So rather than handing over your power to other people,
Embrace your power.
Worship yourself. Embrace is a great word as well. Choose to worship your own thoughts, ideas, feelings, emotions, and decisions. Courtney, everything that is can also be what was. I kind of like weaving that in here. And that's exactly the picture that I get as I read that, Courtney, is like the weaving of the reeds that make a basket. It all works together. And sometimes we choose to give over our power so that we can learn how to truly step into it, own it, embrace it, and worship our own thoughts, feelings, and ideas. And that doesn't mean we never take into consideration what other people have to say moving forward. It just means that when we figure out what our feelings, our own thoughts are without the lens of other people's judgment, other people's dismissal of us, what those things truly mean and how they value or add value to us and how we value it, it becomes embedded with the past. You got to have what you got to have in order to get where you're supposed to be. So maybe in the past you were needing to be shown in order to understand the value that you truly bring and your ability to worship yourself and value yourself. I hope that helps, my friends. The whole thing here is just let's uplift people. Let's help people heal, heal self-perception, heal futures, heal decisions. And I do want to just take a moment to acknowledge Alicia. Hi, it's Alicia, popped in. And she had a couple of things to say. One is that she was letting us know that she popped in probably during our last reading show and got an answer that was so powerful. She replayed it a few times to show her family, who agreed how accurate it was. Thank you so much for coming back to us and letting us know that there was benefit and positivity that came from the last reading from us. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And unfortunately, we can't help you with medical questions with specific regard to the condition that you've mentioned. We're not licensed medical professionals.
Right.
I am absolutely not a medical intuitive.
Me neither.
As much as we would love to help you, my darling, the best thing that we can tell you is find perhaps a naturopath or someone who is in line with your belief system, who can help you work on not just the Western medical aspect of your medical concerns, but your spiritual connection or disconnection to those medical concerns. Yes, Courtney, tell yourself I was always good enough. Thanks for bringing us back to that one.
Liz did pop in an answer too.
I'm reading that right now. Aha. Love and light. Thank you, Liz, for sharing the rest of that piece of the puzzle for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I love that you guys popped in here today and gave us the opportunity with trust to help work with you and to help you work with yourself and your guides. Don't ever lose your light, y'all. It's really hard and hurtful when you let go of your light. Been there, done that, fought the battle, and reclaimed a bunch of it. And it's still something that pops up once in a while. And again, as you said, Lori, it's not something that changes overnight. It's not something that we resolve once, but sometimes it's something that we take a giant step toward resolving or healing, and then we get to take more steps along the way as well. There's always growth and development to be had. Courtney, thank you. There you go. Let it go. All right. Lori, any final thoughts you want to share with everyone today?
I think the biggest thing is you just have to, as hard as it can be sometimes, believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Trust yourself that you're headed where you're needing to be going. And just remember that life is a series of lessons. They're never going to stop. We will be learning things till the day we pass.
There you go.
I'm not going to say until the day we die, because I don't believe in death as in death. So, the more we can learn here, the more we can take with us, and hopefully make the next lifetime a little bit easier on ourselves.
Right. We're beaten here on ourselves the next time. Guys, we're going to have to let you go for the day. Our time is up. Thank you once again for the trust that you portray in us, the honor that you give us in allowing us to work with you when you tune in for the reading shows. We are bringing in a new reader next week at 10 a.m. on WLTK-DB, the self-care show. No Agenda is one of the new shows here on the station on Mondays. I believe Todd said at noon. Check it out. Michael, Christopher, and Jen here to share what spirit brings them for you. Mike and Dieta are on Tuesday evenings. I didn't stutter. I just had to repeat the word. And oftentimes Chat with Charlie on Thursday mornings has got some reading shows for you. And let's not forget the ever lovely Ane, who's on Tuesday evenings. Lots of reading shows here for you guys. So much on this platform. Check it out at the website, WLTK-DB.com. It's got a show listing. You can also look at the events listings on the Facebook page. Thank you again for joining us all. Have a fantastic day. This has been the Self-Care Show.
Bye, everybody.
WLTK-DB.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.